Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, all morning I've been waiting for something to change my good mood. Because normally when we hear something really good and promising and hopeful about the restart of cruising in the US, something happens. But guess what? So far, so good. Just yesterday, Richard Fain, CEO of Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, had an interview on television, and they were talking about the new guidances from the CDC, and he basically said, well, because he was asked about the vaccine versus non-vaccine. And that if, they go the vaccine route, that they could have problems in Florida or perhaps Texas as well, although Florida is really the only one that's come out and firmly stated that they will not allow cruise ships to sail or ask for vaccinated passengers, not ask people about that. And he was still, now take this with a grain of salt as well, Richard Fain has always been that guy who is always positive, no matter what. When the no sail order was lifted and the conditional sail order came out, he was very positive. And then 2 months later, he was still hopeful. And then when the new guidance came out, he was still, it's something. We have something. He's always trying to look at the bright side, the positive side, and the good side. And now there's a lot of good sides into this. So that question right there, he says that there is 2 ways to open. We have guidance for both ways, one with vaccines and one without vaccines. And he says both of them we think are workable to start cruises by July. Well, that could be true now that the CDC has lifted that 60-day waiting period for applications for test cruises down to 5 days and things like that. That's a big difference from the way it was. So yeah, that can still all be worked out. They can, get their port agreements into place, apply for test cruises, do their test cruises. But what's involved in a test cruise? Who's got to be on the test cruise? Is it volunteers? Is it staff? Is it the CDC themselves? We still really don't know those details that we're still waiting out there. The easiest way to do it is if they say that everybody will be vaccinated. 95% of passengers and 98% of crew members. Now, you ask yourself, why 95%? Why not 100%? Well, that allows for those people who have underlying conditions and cannot get vaccinated, right? If you have severe allergies to getting vaccinated, you're not going to go get one. If you have reactions to getting vaccines, you are not going to get one. Or if you have an underlying condition that prevents you from getting it, this may allow people to use that, right? For actual medical conditions of why you can't get a vaccine. Will that apply to everybody, for people who don't want to get a vaccine or something like that? Or perhaps they, I don't know. But mostly, I think that was put in place for those people who cannot get a vaccine medically. Medical reasons or religious reasons or something like that. So something they don't want to trample on somebody's rights. So that's why this 95% at least in my opinion, that's why the CDC's gone that way. Now, easier way to, the Norwegian has already said they will vaccinate their crew and they will require passengers to do it. Disney has said it. Lots of cruise lines have said that already. So now we could see 2 situations. We could see a much slower opening in ports like Miami, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, because they have to do the test cruises. They have to figure out how to do the test cruises, what's involved in the test cruises, etc., because of the Florida restrictions on you can't ask people if for proof of vaccination. And you could see other places like California, New York, Boston, opening up, because they don't have that restriction in place. and you could send a cruise ship down to New York and sail to Bermuda, like they've normally done. So you may actually see cruises from the ports we thought for sure would be the least likely to open first, because they can do it sooner. It's much easier if you have a ship ready to say, okay, we're going to go to New York, we're going to sail to Bermuda for 7 days, and we're going to come back. Boom. Done. Requiring vaccination only. Our crew is already vaccinated. There's no test cruises involved. There's no applying for cruises. We're just cruising. So much easier. And that is the big thing when I said I was worried when the governments got involved, especially, I know Florida governor was trying to do what he can to restart cruising, and his pressure that he helped put on may have actually done that, may have accomplished that. But his steadfast rule of you cannot ask people to, be vaccinated, to get vaccinated, to enjoy everyday things. Can you count a cruise ship as an everyday thing, since it was one of the only things banned for a year? You see, I'm mixed feelings on it. I'm not afraid to say that I've been vaccinated. I don't think that really is setting up, if everybody can get a vaccine and everybody is getting a vaccine for free, and all you have to do is go and get it. Go to the pharmacy. If there's a vaccine within every 5 miles of anybody living in the United States, like they say there is, and it's everybody over the age of 16 can have one, you just need to go and get it, then I don't see that as a thing that we're setting up people who can't. Because now we've also had that 5% gap, right? You can say, well, what if I can't get a vaccine? What if I can't do it medically? Well, if you can't do it medically, there's that 5% exemption. You get the medical note, you can still cruise. So that kind of takes away that stigma of, it's only for rich people or it's only for a certain people, because everybody can get it. Like here in Canada, not everybody can get it. We have restrictions. We have rules. We have only certain age groups can get it. Only certain professions can get it. In the United States right now, they're saying everybody over the age of 16 can now apply and get it. Which means, that is great. Can't ask for anything better than that. If you want it, you can have it. And if you want to go on a cruise, you can go and get it. If you want to go on a cruise and you don't want the vaccine, then it's your choice right now. Does that mean forever? No, you're not going to be required to have a vaccine forever. You could say, okay, we're going to give you a 3-month grace period where you're allowed to ask while we're doing this, because not everyone has a vaccine yet and it's still a COVID state. Florida just extended their emergency orders measure for another 60 days. So he cannot say that there is no pandemic. He still extended the his emergency act. So if you extend the emergency act for 60 days, then you can give a leeway for 60 days for the cruise lines to be able to do vaccine-only cruises. And then after that, you can say, after that, once things have gone down and the virus is gone, you can no longer ask it again. And I don't know. I think there's a compromise there that they can work on. But 2 routes. And now the question is, who's going to take what route? What states are going to be able to open first? And it's a big question to be asked. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really, honestly don't. All I know is that here in Canada, it won't be happening. But I'm hoping Canada can have a little bit of common sense and a little smarts in their head, that we can go to the United States and say, you know what? You can bring your ship into Vancouver and Victoria. You can pull into our port, keep your passengers on board, and then leave. We will okay that. Why not? Why not? Because the people in Canada will say, hey, they're making money on cruise ships. Other states are making money. Why aren't we? So they're going to open up that big can of worms here in Canada. Why are we still closed, etc.? We're still closed because we don't have vaccines, and our vaccine rollout is horrible. That's why we're closed. You can't blame the United States for it. You can't blame anyone else for it. You can only blame your own government for it, plain and simple. But do not punish Alaska because of it. It's not like you're taking passengers in. It's not like you have to do anything. You just have to have people pull up, put some fuel in, maybe some provisions if they want it. They want to buy our provisions from our farmers, and then let them sail on to Alaska. I think we should be allowing them to do that, absolutely, to try and save whatever we can save for the Alaska season this year. Well, I hope you appreciate the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget that notification button so you don't miss any cruise videos in the future. And until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.